Yeah, it's a lot of third party. Like Camel Fat is a must-have. It's just nothing sounds quite like it. In fact, with all distortion, it's like particularly if you're doing heavy distortion, low, dry, wet always, or if you're doing little bits of distortion, you can have a high, dry, wet. It's always trying to find like making the most impact on the sound with the minimum amount of processing. So I always try and go quite gentle with stuff like basses.
Let's go to work.
I would love to see your workflow. I'm curious if we can't get you to do some work for us.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely be down for that. I remember your videos that you did help me out early on a lot. So like I'd easily repay the favor.
So then you owe us.
Got me. There's a lot of artists in America who are playing out halftime because they're dubstep artists. People expect like tunes whichever halftime beat, and it's just speeding that up a little bit to 172 makes it that much more kind of hype, I guess. So my tunes are being played by people like Bass Nectar and trying to think of some others off the top of my head.
How does that feel? So like when you have, so does a homie of yours in the States just call you and say, guess what? I was at this Bass Nectar show and I just heard your tune.
Yeah, pretty much. I've got actually my favorite video of all time is I'd sent this remix for Run DMT to Nolan Frequent. And he, like that same evening, went to see Noisier play. And there's just this video of him like him as they play it, and I still don't know how they got hold of the remix, but they played that out, and he's like going crazy. So that's one of my favorite like moments like that, and it is really really nice for me seeing like the reaction people have to some of this stuff being played out, and I'd love to see that myself in person at some point. Yeah, it's funny for me actually hearing the response to halftime, because a lot of people a lot of people who are sort of old school drum and bass heads don't actually like it very much, like because they feel it's a bit lower energy in a set. But I remember some of the events that I've been to, like been to a couple of Critical nights and things like that. For me, in a drum and bass set, the halftime bits are just the best bit for me. Like I have really good memories of I can remember, I think it was one of the upbeats playing that little tiny halftime bit of Get Deaded, and like that was the moment for me. Normally I'll make like a tune in about a day that is sort of like, I'd say 70% there, and then I'll dip into it occasionally until it gets there. Like for Commanders, the one that's out on Inspected, I basically made that like round about Christmas, and then I just forgot about it, and then I came back a month later and thought, fuck it, I'm finishing this. And it's very different from how it was in the original version. Like the original version was weak because it was full of gaps. But I think having some time away from the project gives you some time to think about what's going to go in those gaps. Even if you aren't thinking about it every day, your mind is just always going to be coming up with some patterns and something to do.